for another Friday safety focus of the week, and it is Friday the 13th.
13th.
So let's beat the theory of things are unlucky today, and let's not get anybody hurt or injured, or any auto utility strikes, personal property loss, anything like that. Let's not anything bad happen today.
We'll try.
Let's focus in today. So this week's code of conduct is to work in an environmental conscientious manner. Mr. Dowd, anything to add on this code item this week?
Usually we all kind of know what the right thing to do is. So operating with a little bit of awareness. And then if your gut says, you know what, I think we probably should do this. Usually we know what to do. Operate with integrity.
Yep. Good reminder to check spill kits and soap vents, all that good stuff, making sure we don't have any runoff from carrying any cross contamination, anything like that. So a good job last week. We're up to 208 days without a recordable injury. Got a really good track record going. So let's continue to focus in and follow our best practices. We're starting the morning with a good JHA, identifying those hazards, controlling them. Good communication, good teamwork leads to success in our project. So let's keep it going. And it's been 23 days since our last first aid related injury. So again, changing of hazards today with a mix of freezing rain, snow, rain. So we're gonna have a lot of different slip, trips, and fall potential. So let's really focus in and put some salt and sand down in those areas that need it.
And defy the curse of the 13th, Friday the 13th.
Yes, yes, defy it. So we just finished our OSHA 300A logs. It's a requirement from OSHA that each employer provides and actually submits their safety statistics to the Department of Labor. So we just finalized that as we got our man hours for 2022. We worked just shy of 350,000 man hours. So it's quite a lot of hours worked. I think that would definitely have been our highest in the last 3 years for sure. And we had only 3 recordable cases. One of those cases resulted from days away from work, and that was just 2 days. So we did a really good job about keeping our accidents, our recordables, pretty minor in 2022. Our injury rate recorded was 1.7, which is a really outstanding number. So congratulations goes all, because you see here the national average is about 3.6. So we pretty much cut that in half. And for 350,000 man hours, it's very impressive. So a lot goes out. I think we got a pretty good program going. We just really need to continue and not get complacent and focus in on the stuff that really matters. And that's looking at our hazards, controlling them from the elimination and then down to personal protective equipment. So we're finalizing these OSHA 300 logs. They're going to be posted on all of our ECI bulletin boards. It's a requirement February, March, and April that all employees get to see our OSHA 300 logs. And it's kind of why we're just kind of kicking off this presentation with it, so everybody is aware of it, because it is your right of each employee to have their employer post these statistics. And then we didn't have any OSHA violations in 2022. We had a couple minor inspections on our projects, but no violations. So that was a good job by all. And then we just got the data from the Agency of Vermont regarding what was cited in Vermont by VOSHA. So this is, you can kind of see, these are either they're accidents, things that occur on a job site that resulted in a citation. A lot of it is an accident occurs, they investigate. They also do random inspections or complaints or referrals from either employers or employees, employers, or the public, traveling public through work zones. So as you can see, duty to have fall protection, working at heights is definitely the most cited standard here in Vermont. There was 13 inspections, 13 citations, resulting in just shy of $50,000 in penalty cost. Training in that 503, that's fall protection training. So again, a lot of it is falls. And then you got scaffolding issues on projects with scaffolding. And then the electrical, in the electrical world, a lot of it is that wiring components and equipment generators. A lot of that's like lockout, tag out issues. Could be cord issues for us. Ladders, asbestos, lead, head protection, fall protection, aerial lifts. Those are the most frequent cited of serious violations in the state of Vermont. So we can kind of see where they're looking. This is something, these components we're pretty good at. We got to sharpen our pencil and lead with our steel guys, and we're doing that now to try to get better better numbers on our lead levels. But for the most part, we do a good job with our inspections through Austin and myself going to our job sites, and then the training that we do each and every week kind of component or someone needs to mute themselves. Pat Wells, can you mute yourself, please? There you go. So yeah, these are and these are going to be our areas of focus for Austin and myself, making sure that, you know, we have a fall protection plan, we have a rescue plan. We going through and inspecting our equipment, and everybody is trained in fall protection. Same thing with scaffolding, ladders, asbestos, lead, all that good stuff. So just wanted to kind of highlight this kind of year review of 2022. We did an excellent job last year, and this is a completely new year, so we got to kind of put that one in the past and try to beat last year by, you know, following our best practices. That's the JHA, attending the safety meetings, any training that you need, utilizing Austin and myself. We're here for everybody's support and guidance to work safe on each and every one of our job sites.
Hey, Matt, I got a quick question. That number you told us of 1.7, does that mean like 1.7 people on average in 100 gets hurt in the year or something, or what does that mean? Do you know?
So the calculation is you take the number of recordable injuries and you multiply it by 200,000.
Oh,
they kind of say that 200,000 is the average employer will work 200,000 hours.
Oh, okay.
It's very gray, but they want each each employer to multiply it by 200,000 man hours. So you take for us, it's 3 times 200,000, and you divide it by how many actual man hours your company worked.
Oh, cool.
So
that's kind of cool. Yep.
So it's not a perfect equation, but that's kind of how
it's just nice to know kind of where it comes from.
Yeah. It's a way of normalizing the size of a company.
Yep.
To be equivalent to 100 employees.
Yeah, exactly, Ken. That's kind of where I was getting at.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
So, all set, Matt?
Oh, thank you.
That's all. Yeah, that's all I have.
Yeah. Well, they're very impressive numbers. It certainly feels like I got the Friday the 13th feeling. We got to maintain some momentum, not just for today, but to get off to a good start so that we have a good cushion of days because it's a long year. These years are long, and then also I think you can't get complacent, like you say, and it's about looking back at, we're so good, look at us. That is dangerous in a sense too.
Right. Yeah. False sense of security.
Overconfident.
Yeah.
Overconfidence.
So I'll share my screen here. I think this is it. Okay, you see that?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So for announcements, we just have that the Monday is a federal holiday for Martin Luther King Day. So remember that government offices, banks, post office, et cetera, are all closed. ECI is open. And I just noted, I Have a Dream, the famous speech that we probably have all heard in some parts by Martin Luther King from 1963. And it's really his dream of being inclusive, being respectful of everybody, and being friendly, and just being good people and partners to each other. All good stuff. And I still have the annual giving on here, partly because we're still in the process of doing this ceremonial part anyway, about giving these amounts away to our different charities. And today I understand that Ben Dow and Sarah Wallen are going over to Make-A-Wish, which is located at the Vermont Teddy Bear in Shelburne. And maybe we should ask if there's anyone out there
Yeah.
who wants to attend, if they have if anyone has a personal or just a great desire to go to that. It'll be held what time, Ben?
I think it's at either 12:30 or 1, but just give Sarah a call if you think you want to go. I
Yeah,
think Angela is gonna be there also.
I think
But
it'd be great to have
yeah,
others there, from the company and people
Yep.
who contributed and especially people who feel passionate about this particular charity.
yeah, I think it's on my calendar for 12:30. I can't remember if that's when we leave or when we get there, but
I see.
anybody that's really interested, give Sarah Wallen a call
Yeah,
this
for
morning.
sure. So I still, of course, have, as I always do, the ECI Primary Care Wellness Program on here, or there's a link to the program. I'm coming up on my 1 year for so my yearly physical is going to be due here, so I'm going to make my appointment and get it done. Upcoming weather, we see what we got out there. It's kind of a mix of stuff, and there's a little bit of snow expected, I think, maybe 1 or 2 inches for today. And then it's cooling down a little more seasonable there for this short-term forecast, but I don't think it stays that way. And then for the project of the week, we have Ben Heath to present the project on North Avenue, the stormwater replacement project. Ben, do you want to take over the screen or do you want me to scroll down?
I'll take over the screen.
All right, sounds good. So what I do is Ben, I should have informed you before the meeting. I usually, double click the email and then I expand it a little bit and I take the ribbon, to full screen.
Okay. I don't think I just accomplished that, but
But
so what do you do,
that's,
Ken?
I usually, you double clicked, I guess. Then if you go to your screen looks a little different, I think, than mine. You can go to full screen, which opens it up so that it's filling it out. And then you can expand. You can really just zoom in. Yes, just zoom in. I go to like 160% or so, and it comes right out to the edge of the screen for you.
There we go.
I'm close to it. Yeah, that's better. Okay.
Okay, this is the North Avenue stormwater replacement project in the city of Burlington. The city of Burlington contacted ECI to investigate and repair a sinkhole that had developed along an embankment near the outfall of a large diameter stormwater system. The sinkhole is located near the corner of North Avenue and the off-ramp of Vermont Route 127, known as the Beltline. ECI determined that the soil materials were highly erodible, that the outfall pipe had disconnected at a joint and collapsed about halfway down a one-on-one steep embankment, and the embankment failure was putting an adjacent residential dwelling at risk. It was late October of this year, of 2022, and ECI was extremely busy, as you all know. However, the region was receiving continuous rainfall and the sinkhole continued to grow. I'll show you some photos of just how expansive it got. ECI reorganized manpower and equipment to respond to this emergency work, and 400 linear feet of 30-inch HDPE pipe was sourced in Saskatoon, Canada, which is in the province of Saskatchewan, and we got some help with finding that pipe from Mr. Lawyer. ECI performed tree clearing and grubbing along the new pipe corridor down the steep embankment as the bad weather in Canada continued to delay the pipe delivery. ECI placed some riprap rock in the sinkhole as a stopgap to slow down or hopefully prevent further erosion and embankment failure while we waited for the pipe delivery from Canada. ECI constructed a work road to gain access to the bottom of the embankment and installed pipe over 100 linear feet beyond the original outfall location. The original outfall conveyed the water to a 90-degree bend in the drainage conveyance, which was causing erosion, additional embankment failure, and considerable amounts of sediment transport. 400 linear feet of 30-inch HDPE pipe was butt fused and installed to eliminate that 90-degree bend and to replace the existing failed outfall system. A riprap splash pad and 4-bay system was installed at the new outfall location. The new pipe was outfitted with anchoring systems, which consisted of eye bolts drilled into the pipe and wire connected to waste blocks, which we buried deep under the new pipe. Bentonite anti-seep collars were installed along the pipe in the steep portion of the embankment to help prevent water and erodible soil from traveling along the pipe to soil interface. The new pipe was connected to an existing 16-inch thick-walled cast-in-place concrete stormwater structure. That was kind of a surprise to all of us. It looked like a normal catch basin, but it turned out to be kind of a behemoth. And that created some challenges, obviously, to make the pipe connection. But a new hole in the structure was cut, and the pipe was connected to the structure, and the structural wall was patched. The embankment was lined with riprap stone to help protect the slope from erosion. The concrete sidewalk at the top of the hill was replaced. The city of Burlington was really grateful that for the way that ECI had an expedited delivery of this project, when we self-performed all the work from survey to the design, material procurement, construction, and as-built services. So this first photo here shows essentially the scene when we arrived, which was a sinkhole, a fence, a pipe that had been dislodged, and a tree that had fallen but was still kind of connected and still holding itself up. We received a rainstorm, and the city was really kind of, I'm not going to say complacent, but they were nervous about it. But they were like, well, maybe let's plan on doing this first thing in the spring. And we got the rainfall, and we went back out there and found that the hole was 4 to 5 times bigger. The tree had fallen in, and the dwelling was up in the right-hand corner of this photo, just at the top of the embankment. So we notified the city, and we began to expedite this whole process. This photo here shows the amount of sediment that was being transported down the conveyance from the sinkhole location. It just completely filled this entire drainage network with a very erodible material. This is a photo of some of the initial work that ECI performed to gain access to the bottom of the embankment, tree clearing, and making a road to get down to the bottom of the site. This photo here shows some of the regrading work that took place to change the location of the outfall. So if you can see my cursor, the old outfall was back in here, and it was running, the water was running straight into this embankment and then turning 90 degrees left. This whole embankment was eroding at the bottom, sloughing in and continuing to just send material down into the drainage. So we took the pipe an additional 150 feet beyond that the original location and discharged it out here so that it could have a straight run after the water was received. And this is the 30-inch HDPE pipe.
Wow.
Looks small in the picture.
Yeah, the pictures don't do this justice for the size of pipe and for just how steep this really is.
Yep.
Another photo of the pipe as we laid it in there and got it into a configuration and a geometry that worked for the city and for us.
There's a picture of the adjoining property too, right next to it.
Yes, good point. Here's the
Yep.
dwelling that was at risk.
Oh, ooh, their backyard.
Those folks were very nervous. They definitely helped. They definitely helped sell the idea to the city that this needed to be done now. Here is a photo of the pipe connection work. In a photo after this, you'll see how it started, but this is a little bit out of order. But this shows us we finally got the pipe down into the hole up against the structure, and kind of it was a huge project to get this pipe to come down and be in a location where we could make the pipe connection. This next photo shows how we started. We've got this huge, rigid, thick-walled pipe, sticking up in the air, and we have to get this thing, to come down and connect to an existing structure that was approximately right at the here. That was a real battle, and the guys worked in some nasty weather and stayed late. I think they even set up some light towers because it was a real struggle, but they persevered and they made it, and it went in. Here's a photo of the site after the pipe was connected and the stormwater system was installed. The risk of embankment failure essentially at this point has been eliminated. So we're cleaning up the site. We're putting down some matting. We had keyed in some larger 4 some larger diameter stone we had buried down at the bottom here, and to key it in, and then we placed some smaller riprap stone for the rest of the site. In the area of the old sinkhole, we put some big rock and kind of chinked in some smaller stone. And this is a photo that was taken about halfway down in the embankment, showing the process of stabilizing the bottom of the site. And you can see this larger stone that was embedded into the embankment. This is a photo of the final product. And that's it.
Okay. We
Not
didn't have a
much.
picture of that connection, the hold down connection, I don't think.
No, we didn't. Well, there was a photo of it, but it was dark enough that it didn't seem like it was worth putting up here for everybody.
I see. Okay. All right. I will take over briefly and finish up here. News. And then I have on the screen as it's coming here. I think it's coming. Do you see my screen, or is it my overall?
Got your email. Got your email.
Yeah, my email. I did the wrong one. Should have just left Ben on there. Let's see. Try it again here.
Double click.
Window. Safety focus a week. There we go. So we'll go down, down, down. Oops. And I have the slideshow still connected here. Oops, still getting down there. Yeah, the slideshow, whoops, the slideshow, parts A and B, if you want to look at that, it's on a YouTube for 2022. And then from the photo archives, I have a picture of the Manhattan Drive emergency slope repair in Burlington, just on the other side of the Beltline back in 2013. We were driving sheets at the top of the roadway. We anchored those back, a dead man anchor system back to support the top there. It had eroded away, very similar problem, except that it wasn't induced by the drainage line here. There is drainage in here, but it was more of an erosion on the surface, and then it started creeping back onto Manhattan Drive. So where the crane is parked would be the kind of near the turning lane onto the belt line. So right across the belt line from this new project. So that's what I got. I'll turn it back over to you, Matt. Be safe, everybody out there, and keep in mind all these statistics. We want to keep them going. The good statistics. Matt out there.
Sorry, I was muted. I was thinking that might be one of Doug Cohn's last jobs that he did.
Mark is there and Doug Cohn. Can't really tell the others.
like
I
a
think Jim
similar day as
Laughlin was
today.
the crane operator.
Yeah, Jim Laughlin. I think Dana
Yeah.
Bourgeois was also on that project.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big mix of people. I think Larry Sullivan was there too.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you're watching a group setting, please send over the members that watched it. We had about 49 on today's meeting, so decent attendance for this time of year, but I like to really try to capture it so we know who's been paying attention. I will upload this on our YouTube channel, and if you did watch the YouTube, please let me know so I can just keep a good attendance throughout the year. Let's be safe today with the weather, and also safe on the roadways, and have a safe day. Talk soon.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Ken.
Thanks. See you later.
And Ben.